Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Empower Hour Get Involved edition session. We're so pleased that you could join us today. I'm Maya Potter, the Events and Digital Community Officer at Target Ovarian Cancer. We're joined by Katy, Emma, and Pauline today, who will be speaking about their own experiences and how they each became involved with Target Ovarian Cancer. Becky and Gina are also joining us from the Target Ovarian Cancer team to give additional information about how to get involved in a way that feels right for you and answer any questions. So I'm going to hand over to Katy and invite her to introduce herself. So over to you, Katy.
So just to introduce myself, I am Katy Stephenson. I'm an estate agent. I work for Savills and I'm married to Patrick, 20 years this year, and I have two teenage children, Jack, who's 18, and Tilly, who's 15. So going back a few years, in December 2020, just to give you a little bit of a sort of background on how I got to be here today, December 2020, I was taken into the local hospital with a suspected appendicitis. And through scans, they identified some cell changes in my left fallopian tube. So took some of that and tested it. And then a month later, I was told I had stage 1 ovarian cancer. So that was during COVID, which made everything slightly more problematic, which was a difficult situation. So I had a total hysterectomy and then underwent 6 rounds of chemotherapy. I was clear for a year and was being checked every 3 months, my CA125. And then in June, I think it was 2022, I had my CA125 went up. And then by the September, it significantly increased. And I was told that the cancer had spread to my abdominal cavity and it was now incurable. So underwent further surgery, another 6 rounds of chemo. And then I went to the maintenance drug. And I was under the Nuffield, I'm now under the Royal Marsden in London, which is an amazing hospital. And I'm now on the maintenance drug, niraparib, and I've been clear for just over another year. So yeah, it's been a bit of a journey, really. But one of the reasons I am involved with Target Ovarian Cancer is because when I first got diagnosed, I found it very, very difficult to find anyone who really communicated about symptoms which can be identified at an early stage. And I had 4 out of the 5 symptoms. I had bloating, repetitive going to the toilet, feeling full when eating, abdominal pain. I had all these symptoms, had gone to my GP 6 months before and was told that I was perimenopausal, it may be IBS, and nothing. So Target Ovarian Cancer were very much about communicating symptoms very, very early on. And how if you have these symptoms, as there's no screening, to go and ask for a CA125. So I felt that after my first diagnosis, I wanted to run an event which would raise awareness of these symptoms because so many people don't know about them. So the first event I put together was in the October 2021, and it was a dinner and auction event. Had about 160 people come to the event, which was amazing. My invite list was made up of friends, families, colleagues, and clients, people that I knew were interested in what I had to say, but also would communicate the message out further. So the event went incredibly well. We had various items to auction. We had hotel stays, foreign travel, West End theatre tickets, weekends away, lots of different things, jewellery, artwork, hampers. And we raised, I think that event raised just over £11,000, which was fantastic. And a really, really good way of communicating what had happened to me. If you could just put up, I think there's a couple of photos that I had actually sent through that were relating to the event. So yeah, if you see at the bottom, the 2 at the bottom was the auction event that I ran. And there's me speaking at the event, sort of explaining to people what had happened. And the top left 2 is me during first stages of my treatment. So the top right photo is another event I put together which was in our local shopping centre in Bury St Edmunds, where I live in Suffolk. I was sent all of the promotional material from Target Ovarian Cancer, and I put a stand up on a Saturday in the middle of this shopping area, and I had friends and family man it with me. And again, lots of people came and chatted, local newspapers and Radio came, interviewed me. And I remember I had one of the nurses actually who came to the stand said that she'd nursed people with ovarian cancer, chatted about what had happened to me, and she said she was so surprised that I'd had a diagnosis at stage 1 because that was so rare. So raised a few £100 doing this and really felt that I'd connected with other people. Another event I did, you can put the slide up, of the golfing event. So on the left hand side is an event I put together with my brother. He's a very keen golfer. At the local club where he's a member, he hosted a Hickory Golf Day where people dressed up in 1920s clothes. There was vintage cars there, and we put together an event whereby people that were coming to play golf with a team put money forward. Again, we raised lots of money, and also the demographic for that event was very interesting because it was men and women, and that seemed to really work. So the top photograph of lots of people wearing Target Ovarian Cancer t-shirts, that was an event I organised through work as part of the eastern region of Savills where I work. Everyone was invited to come and take part to raise money, and we walked all through Cambridge along the river, which was a really, really good event, and also to raise money and awareness through colleagues. And I actually found that doing an event where people were walking and talking was really, really positive. People seem to be able to share a bit more when they're sort of walking along. So that was a different type of event. And then the other things that I've recently been involved is with another charity that deals with gynecological cancers. And this again was an event whereby Hello magazine covered it. And I'm also, through this channel, I'm also being interviewed for Fabulous magazine, which is linked to the Sun newspaper. And that article's coming out on the 2nd of June. So I suppose my kind of link into events and fundraising and awareness is, for me, it was to find things that I was really interested in, and then use those networks that I have, whether it be friends, family, colleagues, or, you know, parents from the school, whereby setting up events such as the dinner, the auction. I've been interviewed on Radio 4 a number of times, newspaper interviews. So it's just really trying to tap in and raise awareness wherever you can. It can be really daunting, and you do feel like you're putting yourself out there quite a bit. But I have to say, it's really widened my network, and I really feel that I've made new friends and I have a wider support network. So it's win-win, really. And it's also, I believe, helped me come to terms to some extent with my diagnosis. So that's me. And I'd like to pass over to Becky.
Thanks, Katie. Yeah, I'm Becky. I am the head of community and events fundraising. So I'm one of the lucky people that get to speak with and support people like Katie in their fundraising. So Katie is an amazing example of what we would call a community fundraiser. Katie is many other things, but in terms of fundraising, Katie is one of our amazing community fundraisers. And, you know, a great example of kind of raising awareness as well as vital fundraising in her local community through her network. So community fundraising for us is all about kind of doing what you know and doing what you enjoy, and hopefully raising awareness and fundraising off the back of that. So the things that the example that Katie's just given us are some good examples to share. So the top left-hand picture, just wanted to talk to you about, is a great example of community fundraising. The guy there on the right is Tiago. He's our community fundraiser here. Some of you may well know Tiago and have spoken to him already. And Tiago is doing one of many cash collections or contactless machine collections that we do at train stations, tube stations, mainly in and around London, and particularly around ovarian cancer awareness time. But we have had people who actually said, I'm very happy to go out to my local train station in Cardiff, for example, and shake a few buckets and talk to people about Target Ovarian Cancer. So that's an example of something that people can do in their local community. Underneath Tiago's lovely picture there, we have a high school, Larne High School. They recently did an overdressed day at their school. So Emma's going to talk about that a bit later, actually, because Emma's planning one in her school. This is basically whereby we ask schools to take on, you know, a bit of a change to the old non-uniform day, and hopefully raise money and awareness of Target Ovarian Cancer. We send the school everything they need to run their own overdress day. And what I mean by that is we send them banners, we send them leaflets, sponsorship forms, any information that they need to get their schools excited. So in terms of, you know, not community fundraising isn't for everyone, but actually, hopefully, everybody knows somebody who has a child at a school, or a teacher, or a member of PTA, or a dinner lady. And if you've got any schools local to you that you think may be interested in taking part in overdress schools, I'm sure we can follow up afterwards with some links as to how they can sign up. This school in particular, very sadly lost one of the teachers to ovarian cancer last year, and they raised £1,900 on the day. And some of the pictures they shared were just amazing, staff and children having a lot of fun, but also whilst raising awareness and vital funds. The middle picture there is a lovely lady who took part in our 11s campaign. So 11s we ran during Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month, and it was basically asking people to hold a coffee morning, a bake sale, raise some money in aid of Target Ovarian Cancer. Again, this is something that people can do relatively easily in their local community, at their local community centre, church, in your back garden, in your street, and again, we can send everybody all the materials you need to be able to hold your own bake sale. So peppers, banners, t-shirts, balloons, anything you need to be able to hold your own 11s. Just in the middle there, you'll see a lovely group of ladies keeping fit. Pauline is one of those who's going to chat to us later. Again, this is an example of raising really vital awareness and fundraising within something that Pauline enjoys to do. Pauline is part of a fitness group, and the fitness group joined together and raise funds on a particular day. The bottom there, you'll see a group of fabulous people who held a golf day. So actually, you know, it may well be that you are a member of a golf club or a fitness club, or somewhere where actually they might be keen to get involved. I think the thing to say, whatever you want to do, or you feel like you'd like to do from a fundraising perspective in your community, we've got a team of Lucia and Tiago who are experts in the area, and they're there to help. They're there to support you. They're there to send you the materials you need, give you advice, help you set up just giving pages, help you pay in money, help you get leaflets, you know. So actually it feels daunting, but hopefully we can really make it as simple as possible to help you along the way, and depending on where you are in your journey. And then last but not least, on the right hand side are 3 beautiful pictures of our Christmas cards. So last year was the first year that we sold Target Ovarian Cancer Christmas cards. We could have sold them 10 times over. So we will definitely be, well, we're actually in the process in April of deciding our Christmas cards and the pictures and what they're going to look like this year. So do you know what, guys, if fundraising in your community isn't for you, but actually you wanted to purchase some Christmas cards and spread our word, spread the awareness for us, then that will be an option available for you. So yeah, there's just a little bit more about other ways to fundraise in your community. And as I said, no fundraising activity is ever too small or too big. We're always really keen to hear from people and keen to hear how we can support you on your journey. And then if we make a bit of funds along the way, then that's a massive bonus from our perspective. As you'll probably be aware, as a charity, we don't get any government funding, so everything we raise and everything we do is done via fundraising through the public and through sort of trusts and foundations. So and obviously amazing legacies that people leave in their will to us. So so it's hugely important to us that we can inspire people like Pauline and Katy and Emma and help them along the way to support our mission. So that's community fundraising. I get the pleasure of handing over to lovely Emma now to talk to you a bit more about events fundraising.
Thank you, Becky. Yeah, hello everybody. My name is Emma. In real life, I'm off work at the moment, like I'm sure many of you are. I'm an assistant head teacher at a primary school in Worcester, and I have a daughter who is 22 and currently training to be a teacher as well. So that's nice. Just a bit about my story so far and how I've ended up getting involved in doing things and what I've done. Around about this time last year, actually, it was May, it's coming up to a 12-month anniversary very soon. I didn't feel very well, really, but I kind of put it down to work stress, maybe a bit of, menopause type symptoms, and thought, oh, well, if I wait a bit, I might ring the doctor at half term or something like that. I didn't get to half term. I became really very poorly quite quickly, with bloating that didn't go away, not being able to eat, all of those things that we're all very familiar, lots of us are very familiar with. And I had no idea at all about ovarian cancer, no idea about the symptoms at all. Thankfully, my doctor was absolutely brilliant, and she did a CA-125 test as part of the first batch of urgent blood tests she did for me in that week when I became really poorly. And I'm very thankful that she did, because my CA-125 was incredibly high, and then followed up by scans, and in June I was then diagnosed with ovarian cancer. I had surgery in July, very significant surgery, which managed to remove all of the cancer, but my staging is very uncertain, which is a bit of a complication for me, and I know there's a few other people like it, because there was no other cancer at all apart from huge tumours in my ovaries, things that hadn't gone anywhere else within my abdomen, but I had pleural effusion, which couldn't be drained and then resolved itself. So nobody knows whether there were any cancer cells in that or not, but been treated as though I am stage 4. I then went on and had chemotherapy, which started in September and finished in December of last year. And I'm now about 8 weeks into maintenance treatment of olaparib and Avastin, because I'm HRD positive. So that's kind of going okay at the moment, but a few little side effects to iron out here and there. And I'm very, very, thankful and grateful that at the moment I remain no evidence of disease, and my CA-125 is very low. So I'm sort of moving on to the next part of living with this cancer journey that we're all on. Before I was poorly, I was a very fit and active person, and through all the treatment and the surgery, obviously that had sort of gone away, and I was desperate to try and do something a bit normal and to start to build my fitness and things and stamina. Once I'd finished the chemotherapy, I had a little gap from finishing chemotherapy to when the maintenance treatment was going to start, and that gap happened to be January. And I used Target Ovarian, who've been fantastic for information and resources and the staging tools and lots of things. I've used the charity from diagnosis, and up popped in my social media feed about doing the Target 50 walk in January. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do that. I'm going to set myself to try and walk those 50 miles, not run, for goodness sake, but walk those 50 miles in January. I had been walking as much as I could, just little bits most days throughout my chemotherapy treatment. So I thought, no, I'm going to do that. So I signed up, I shared it, you know, on social media, and then lo and behold, 5 of my friends and family also signed up. So we formed a little team spread from North America to here in Worcester, and I have to say the challenge was absolutely brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I absolutely loved doing it. It really got me out at quite a sort of dark, bleak kind of time, not just in time of the year, but just it was a bit like, oh, chemotherapy stopped, I'm waiting on scans. I don't know what they're going to say, all of that. And so it gave me a little goal for every day to get out. And I had so many friends, colleagues, family members saying, I'll come on a walk with you, I'll come on a walk with you. So I was keeping a diary of people, which was lovely with the support. And I found that being in the group, the Target 50 group, was also brilliant on Facebook and things. And so I walked, and I did 75 miles in the end, which I was absolutely amazed by. And it was you know, it was absolutely lovely. I've put together a slide of me and some of my friends walking throughout January. Yeah, there we are. Some of my gang, 4-legged friends and all. And just literally, I was just around and about home. I didn't go very far because I couldn't go very far. I could only do little bits every day. By the end of the month, I was up to doing about 3 miles a day, which I was absolutely delighted with. And I just found it a really, really positive experience. I didn't have any major expectations of thinking, oh, I'm going to raise thousands or anything. But I actually ended up, me personally, raising £914, which I was blown away by. And our little team of the 5 of us that had all signed up raised over £3,000, which I was, you know, delighted by. And I kind of sort of got the bug then for thinking, this has really given me a purpose. This has really given me a focus. And again, like Katie was saying, I knew nothing about this cancer. I knew nothing about symptoms, and I feel very passionately that awareness should be raised. You know, I would not have known what to ask for, what to look for, and you know, easily confused, you know, side effects with other things, which I know we all relate to. So on the back of that, I thought, right, Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month, I'll see what I can do. I haven't planned big things because I didn't know where I'd be on my treatment journey and how I'd be feeling. And I think, say to all of you, if you're thinking, oh, do I have to do a big event? You actually don't. It's quite easy just to do something small. And the school that I work in has been incredibly supportive. I've worked there for a long, long time. And so in March, I did an awareness session for the staff after school and a cake sale because I love to bake. And we raised another £100. I have to say, having done a lot of talking in front of people, a lot of training of people, lots of things over my career, it was one of the scariest things I'd done because it's very personal, but the support was fantastic. And then as a result of that, and talking to friends and colleagues at school, we are now in the midst of planning for the Overdress Day, which Becky mentioned, which will be on May the 24th. So the idea obviously is that they can all come into school dressed in whatever way they want to. That's a bit overdressed for school. I've already sent an apology to my colleagues because it might send them a bit loopy, and I know what it's like, but they were like, it's really, really important. So got that fundraising day, and as part of that, a few days before, I'm going to be brave and run an awareness event for families, for parents. In particular, I'm going to run it as a female-only event. We have a very diverse, lovely, richly diverse school community. And in order to support all of the women within the community, we've decided to run it as a women-only event. Yes, I've just finished making posters and sending them off to school to be put up, and information to go out with that. And so that is my next little foray into awareness raising. So it's not enormous, but I think once you've got, you know, the message to a few people, then I know everyone that knows me now is aware, and tell other people about the symptoms, about the awareness, and of what to look for, as well as having quite a bit of fun with the fundraising. And again, I think it's a way for me to have, you know, a purpose and a focus, and to support Target Ovarian, that do such a brilliant job of supporting all of us, and, you know, pushing forward with asking for the research and making sure that GPs know about the CA125 testing and all of those things, which, you know, I have benefited from, and hope to be able to continue to do so. So yes, so that's, I don't know whether I've spoken too much or too little, but that's my story, and that's what I've been doing. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the next event, and hopefully we can add some more money into that overdressed total that Target Ovarian are running. So I shall hand back to Becky.
Thanks, Emma. Emma's been quite an inspiration, actually. It's been, you know, considering Emma's only sort of like literally just coming into a year into her ovarian cancer journey, and to have kind of sort of embraced fundraising and awareness raising, and as you have, it's been amazing. So thank you very much. And I think you said it brilliantly, actually. You know, it can be as small or as large as you want or need it to be. And for some people, you know, fundraising and awareness raising is what they want to do right now. But then actually in 6 months' time, actually you may need to take a step back from it. And that's totally fine as well. Like, at the end of the day, from our perspective, we just want to be here as a charity to support you and your loved ones on your ovarian cancer journey. And we hope that, as well as you helping us with fundraising, which is obviously a huge help, that actually it gives people a bit of a focus and a way to give back to the charity as well, which I think is what where Emma's coming from. So I was just going to talk through some of the examples of sort of event fundraising. So that's what we would call event fundraising that Emma's been working on for us. So, but up on the top right there, you'll see something called Step 11. So this is our next kind of virtual challenge, exactly like Emma did the Target 50. So run, walk, skip, hop 50 miles during January. Step 11 is happening in June, and that's where we're asking people to take 11,000 steps a day in June. We all know that we see constantly out there that 10,000 steps a day keeps us healthy. We're asking people to take 11,000 steps a day in June. The significance of that 11 number is that, very sadly, unfortunately, 11 women die every day in the UK of ovarian cancer. So that's where the 11,000 steps comes from. You will be able to sign up for 11,000 steps over the next couple of weeks, actually. So at the beginning of May, we spend May kind of recruiting people into our Facebook group. So as Emma said, it's a really supportive, lovely group of people just like you guys, and loved ones, and actually people from further afield as well, who just want to somehow raise awareness or funds for for Target Ovarian Cancer. So that's the next virtual challenge that's coming up. And you'll see there the pink box there. That's one of the thank yous that we share. So what we do during that challenge month is we will share regularly how much money we've raised and give people some inspiration to hopefully share with their friends and families and their networks. And then just in the middle there, you'll see two lovely people who I met them at London Landmarks Half Marathon, which was at the beginning of April. So as a charity, what we do is we purchase charity places in big events. So London Landmarks, London Marathon, the Cardiff Half Marathon, Royal Parks Half Marathon, Great North Run. And then what we do is we offer those places out to people who would like to run in aid of Target Ovarian Cancer. And then what they do, hopefully, is raise funds to help us with our mission. These lovely people here were running, we're at London Landmarks. At our cheer point, we had the West End Choir with us for the whole morning at London Landmarks, belting out, and that they were absolutely brilliant. And friends and family of the 75 runners that we had taking part came and joined us at our cheer point to cheer them on. We were at mile 4, and these guys here were waiting for their dad, Gary. They'd made their own little poster for Gary, so we were waiting for Gaza. And the reason Gaza was taking part was his wife had been diagnosed with ovarian cancer last year, a similar time to you actually, Emma, and she's just been through her treatment and was just coming out the other side. So these guys are Gary's children, and their mum Sue was there as well. So it was, as you can imagine, a huge cheer and quite emotional when Gary came round that corner. We gave him a really good welcome. But just to say, you'll see on our website there are lots of events that that you or your loved ones or friends or family can get involved in. So fundraising isn't always about you physically needing to do something. It's just about telling people you know and love, you could take part. Someone said, I'd like to do the Great North Run. Oh, actually, you could take part in that in aid of Target Ovarian Cancer. So just directing people to our website and showing them what's available. We'd be really, really grateful if you could do that, actually. And the last thing I wanted to talk about was just some of what we would call our bespoke events. So these are our kind of owned events that we run. So we have a walk run event that we run every October. It happens in Regent's Park, in Regent's Park, and it's a 5k or a 10k walk where friends and family come together. They can walk it, they can run it, you can bring your dog, and they come together and join us and raise money for Target Ovarian Cancer. The walk run event this year had just over 450 people taking part, and it's a really, really lovely supportive day. And it's a group of people joining who have got some kind of link with Target Ovarian Cancer and the disease. Or we've just recently ran 11, so an 11k event that happened in Hyde Park, and that was asking people to come along and run 11k or 5.5k or walk it. It was entirely up to them. And that's the second year we've run that event, and we've gone from having 120 people taking part to just under 500 people taking part this year. So just to show you sort of the awareness we're managing to raise, and we're getting to more people. So as well as them raising funds for us, actually, hopefully what we hope is those 500 people go home and tell everybody about what a great day they've had, but also about Target Ovarian Cancer and how they can get involved. So we've got a little video to play of Run 11 that happened in March. really don't care whether you run, walk or crawl it. Actually, just come and join us and be part of it. And if taking part isn't for you, we're always looking for teams of volunteers, people to give out medals and water at the end, or be part of our cheering squad to cheer people along during the event. So there are lots of ways to get involved with us, and in many different ways. So please do get in contact if that's of interest to you. So yeah, that was all I wanted to say. I mean, a big thank you obviously to Emma and to Katy and to anyone who's been involved in fundraising. I know it's I hope that it can give you guys as much pleasure as obviously it does us as well, and supporting the charity. So and it's my pleasure now to hand over to Pauline, who has also been a great fundraiser across events and community for us over the years. But I'll let Pauline do the talking now.
Hi ladies, I'm Pauline. Some of you may know me from before. I've been around for a while. In early 2014, I started to feel changes in my abdomen and generally felt more tired, and because normally my feet don't touch the ground. I belong to my fitness group and I ride my bike and I'm always walking, forever in the garden. So this was quite a change for me. Everything became an effort, along with the constant pain, and I started to suffer with constipation. And after a couple of weeks, I saw my GP, who said I had a blockage and gave me laxatives, they made no difference at all. And I felt things were getting worse. I was getting lack of appetite by this time and bloating. And my husband was saying, I think you're putting weight on, which not really what you want to hear from your husband, but he was right. So I went back and saw a different GP, but they said, or she said, exactly the same as the other one, just changed the laxatives. And I was just going backwards and forwards between the two of them for 3 months, just changing laxatives every time I went back, no further testing or questionings. And by this time, I really could hardly walk with the pain and looked 5 months pregnant. The sad part about it was I was totally naive to ovarian cancer. No idea, hadn't got a clue. So that hadn't crossed my mind whatsoever. It got to a point where my husband took me into A&E, our local hospital at Kingston-on-Thames, and it happened to be my 68th birthday, so not really the sort of present that I was looking for that day. They were horrified and amazing when I got there. I mean, the dust didn't settle under their feet. Before I knew it, I'd had CA125, other blood tests, x-rays, and I was in a ward. I'd been admitted, and later that day, I was sent down to have a CT, which revealed 2 tumours pointing towards ovarian cancer. And they said they were referring me to the Royal Marsden, and I'd be there within 2 weeks. Before I got there, though, I collapsed again and spent another few days in my local hospital. But then got to Marsden. They confirmed that I had a tumour on my left ovary. The second tumour had wrapped round part of my bowel. So they also gave me 3 to 5 years survival. I had all the usual ovarian surgery, which also included me having to have a stoma because they did have to take part of my bowel away, which was a bit of a dread at first, but the support from the stoma nurse was amazing. And you soon get together with it, and it just becomes part of you. You have to do it. You've got to get on with it. But yeah, it's not so bad once you get into that. In July, I started 6 rounds of chemo, of carbo and Taxol was most gone through. I had to stop at my 3rd session because I had an infection in my vein, so I had a PICC fitted. That was a saviour anyway. I also then got chronic renal impairment, so that was a few more tests to go through, but worked out okay in the end. After that, I carried on with the chemo. Once that was finished, I then had to go and spend a day in the hospital and have blood transfusions because I had become really, really anemic. Also, starting to go back for my checkups, they found that I had chronic truncal lymphedema. I was very swollen around the pelvic area. So that now means that every day I have to do what they call manual drainage. You're not actually draining as such anything, but literally from my armpits to my toes on both sides. I have to do this manual, what they call manipulation, which is just over the skin, and also wear horrible compression garments, especially in the summer, because they're just so thick and so hot. But unfortunately, that's the way lymphedema has to go, and that whatever else improves, that will be with me for the rest of my days. So I'll have to continue with that forever. And I'm now on 6 monthly checkups at the Royal Marsden for that, so that's gone down a little bit. Bringing the ovarian cancer a bit more up to date. As I say, I was diagnosed in 68, so you've obviously tallied that up. I'm so lucky. I am at 10 years. And yesterday I had an oncology check at the Marsden. 3 weeks ago I had my CA125 checked and a scan. My CA125 read a fabulous just 6. And my CT, everything was absolutely normal. So, you know, how fortunate am I to be here, to be able to say this today. And they said yesterday that I will have one more check in September, which brings me absolutely up to me finishing my treatments of 10 years. And if the results are the same as I received from these recent ones, it's going to be a bit of a mixed emotion, because they're going to be saying goodbye to me, which of course is absolutely fantastic after 10 years. But I know I will feel I'm going to be losing my little comfort blanket, really, knowing that they're there had anything been wrong all through that time. And I cannot praise the Royal Marsden. I had my surgeries in Chelsea, and all my other treatments have been in Sutton, and there's not one person in either of those hospitals that I would say I didn't take to. They were all amazing. So having got over all of that, and being so grateful for them giving me my life back, I thought, yes, just as Emma said, life goes on. You have to start again. So I hadn't heard of Target Ovarian Cancer, sadly, all the while I was going through everything. But my daughter in 2017 suddenly came to me and she said, "Mum, have you not heard of this charity? I've just picked up from the computer. They've got a charity walk going on in October." So my husband, myself, and my then 7-year-old granddaughter, we've registered for the charity, the charity walk, which at that time took part in the Olympic Park, and had a fantastic time going round with everybody. And at the beginning of it, and when our chief exec, she came up and said, she hadn't seen us around at events before. Found out why we were there, and at the end she got a photograph of us crossing the line, asked for my email, so I'll send that to you and come up and have a coffee. So my husband said, you go up and have a coffee. That's going to be you getting hooked in with helping out at Target Ovarian Cancer. Well, here I am 10 years on, and I have just had really, really amazing things happen. I was very fortunate enough to be one of the 4 campaigners chosen to go to Downing Street to hand all the signatures in that we had. I've been on digital boards in London. I was at the fundraiser that the production of Mamma Mia put on a few years ago, and Emmanuel designed special T-shirts for us, and the cast came down and did bucket collections at the end of the show. That was a brilliant night. I've done the obvious easy fundraiser of going on the stations with Thiago and doing the bucket collections, and many coffee mornings, which were a bit hard work, going around trying to get donations from different companies for raffle prizes. The house is chaos, but it's really worth it when you tot up the money at the end and you see how generous and supportive and understanding people have been. As Becky said, those photos on there of my fitness group, which I've belonged to for 43 years now, and whatever I've done with Target, the walks, if I've done cake sales, whether they be at home, I've done them in the fitness group, the support they've given me is incredible. The other thing I've recently done for raising awareness is I've just been into one of our local schools, which in fact my granddaughter goes there. Gave me I was terrified to do this. I've never ever spoken in front of a huge crowd before, and she'd got 140 students there, some of them because they joined for certain subjects. And I just thought, these young boys are going to think, what is this granny talking to us about ovarian cancer for? But the youngsters were amazing. They were so attentive. They just listened to everything I said and took notice of all the sheets of information that were there. And at the end, I tried to sort of soften the boys up by saying, I know it's not really for you, but please don't throw the leaflets away. Can you realise that what we've been talking about is for your mum, your nan, if you have a sister, pop them in your pocket, your mates, I'm sure you don't want them to see you with these. So that was really good, I feel, because we've been hearing of teenagers now being hit by the disease, and having granddaughters, I want this to get out, the awareness to get out amongst the youngsters. So this was quite a good thing. And I've recently had contact again with this teacher, and it looks as though she's going to be interested in the overdress day for the schools. I'm just waiting for her to come back. So I hope that will be another way of Target getting even more awareness through that school. I've been around to so many doctors' surgeries with the awareness leaflets, practice nurse leaflets, posters in the libraries. I had an interview with Ed Davey, who is my local MP. He's taken so much information. And I recently, through Awareness Month, I managed to get a 3-page edition in our local community book that goes out. So again, hopefully a lot of awareness got through the Surbiton area to people that had no idea about ovarian cancer. And I've done all of the walks since 2017, apart from obviously COVID, and had great fun doing those. So look forward to doing this October's again. The other great thing about ovarian cancer, I think this is the best thing Target has done, is created the community chat line. Yes, I think it's the best thing they've ever done. It's brought so many of us together. First of you, may think that me being so far on to the majority of you, I felt really perhaps maybe it wasn't going to be for me because of that. But then I thought, no, I will go on and see. And I've learned so much of everything that's changed since the 10 years of me having my surgery. Fantastic to hear that there are now drugs to help alongside recurrence. And I just hope the fact that I have got to 10 years, the odd comments that I have put on there has given a few ladies that are just starting out a little bit of hope and a bit more strength to fight on and get to where I am today, and hopefully we'll all get even further as things do improve, as much more work we've got to do, you know, with all our efforts pulled together. Let's hope we do get there one day. And on the community chat, we share each other's highs, we share our lows, we learn what we all get up to, campaigning and fundraising, and it's good that we share each other's things that we do in this way, and we don't mind poaching each other's things that they've done, because if it goes out to another area, then that's great. We just do. We need to share our ideas of how we do these things, and I've made and met so many people from this. I've made so many friends at different events, and some of us now, you know, in fact, another two, we're meeting up for lunch recently. We've met before on occasions. So I think the community chat line is if you haven't joined it at all, please do get involved. Also tea and chat, which is every other Tuesday. It's just such a nice way of getting to know people, and for tea and chat, one of the support nurses is usually on there, usually Val most of the time. And at Christmas, she arranged a live get together for us all, actually in Target's offices. So we all actually got to meet each other at Christmas, which was fantastic. You know, you really do feel the benefits from that friendship and getting to know each other. It is. I think it's the best thing that Target has done, really. But it doesn't take too much to just do something, as Becky said, even if it's just taking the awareness leaflets round to the doctor's surgeries or libraries. I've taken them into leisure centres. So yeah, if we just get our leaflets out there, apart from our friends, the leisure centres actually are pretty good about taking the things. I've got 2 or 3 around me, so they've had quite a lot. 2 friends that belong to WIs, I've asked to try and do talks there, but they're booked up for way over a year. But the friends have taken leaflets. So in one day, I got rid of 160 awareness leaflets, just split between these 2 WI organisations. So that was a jolly easy way of me getting awareness out there. But in the future, I hope perhaps I can get a talk there. And also amongst the 2 other 6th form colleges that are near me, I have approached them, but at the moment I haven't had any response. But I'm not going to give up. I'm going to try again. And I used to work at the local primary school, so I'm going to have a go at them for the overdress as well. So fingers crossed that I can do just a little bit more while I'm still able. But yeah, I hope the fact that I have got to 10 years, it has given some positivity out there to you ladies, and just keep going, because it really, really is worth it. So now I'll hand you over to Gina.
That's lovely. Thank you so much, Pauline. That was really great to hear about all of the work that you've done there. So yeah, as Pauline's just mentioned, we do have an online community. So I just wanted to let you know a little bit about this group. So yeah, we have 2 groups. We've got the OCC and also In Touch. So the OCC is open to anyone that's affected by ovarian cancer, including friends and family. But then we also have our In Touch group, which is just for those with a diagnosis. So these are really great groups to join, because you can join and meet people from all across the UK. And quite often we hear that it can be quite difficult to meet people, especially in person, that have been affected and kind of know what you're going through. So these are really great groups to join if you're looking to connect with other people that know what you're going through, kind of have that shared experience with you. As this session's all about getting involved, a few of the things that you can do in the communities are supporting other people. So for example, everyone kind of shares their own experience of ovarian cancer, so you can support other people in different ways and also get support for yourself. And you can also be kept up to date about all of our digital events. So for example, like the one we've done today, we promoted in there. So it's a really good way to kind of stay in touch with us and all of our work that we're doing. So actually a new thing that we've got is our digital champion volunteering role. So this is a brand new way to get involved as well. So this role is exclusively open to members of our online community. So a lot of our members are kind of doing a lot of this already, but basically we're looking to have some volunteers help with moderating the groups. So the main kind of responsibilities involve helping to monitor the posts that come in, and when we have new membership requests as well from people that want to join. So it's a lot of that, but it's also things like helping to engage our members. So when we have a new member that joins the group, you could send them a welcome message, or if someone's posted something and maybe it's not getting many responses, you could jump in and try and get the conversation started. But as I mentioned, actually, a lot of people are kind of just doing this anyway as a member of the group, but this is a great way to kind of have a bit more of an official role doing it. So if you're interested in doing this role, there are a few things that we'll be able to offer you in return. So we'll be giving training to all of our volunteers. So we'll be training in moderation and also safeguarding, and this will hopefully help you feel really confident in your role. You'll also be joining the team. So if you're part of the team of volunteers, we'll have lots of resources and things that you can do as well. So you have lots of support in your role if this is something you're interested in. So if you're interested in this role, I know I went through that very quickly, but you can apply via our website. We'll have some information that we'll send around to you after this today. But there's just a few days actually left to apply before the applications close on Sunday, the 28th of April. So if you'd like to get involved, you can join the community and you can have a look at the role description on our website and see if you might want to do this. But if you feel like that's not something you want to take on right now, then we'd recommend just joining the community anyway, just because it's a great way to stay connected with other people. And we'll also send you a copy of our flyer. So if you know anyone that might be interested in joining and getting some support, then you can share that with them as well. So I think that's everything from me. So I'm going to hand back over to Maya now.
But we just wanted to say thank you so much to Katy, Emma and Pauline for sharing their experiences with us today. If today's brought up any feelings to the surface for you that you'd like to speak about, our support line is always here for you. It's open 9 AM to 5 PM Monday to Friday, and you can give us a call on 020 7923 5475 to speak to one of our specialist nurses. But we just want to say thank you again to our panel and to all of you for joining us today and making it such a wonderful session. And we hope to see you again soon. Thank you.